Hello everyone, we are from Gucci. Today we will be discussing about the title of Analyzing Factors Influencing Inflation in Malaysia using Economic Model Application. Before we jump into the topic, we should know that there are three theories of inflation. First is demand pull inflation, where this happens due to higher demand or little supply. Next, cost push inflation. This happens when the cost of production increases and leads the firm to increase the price of the goods. Lastly, import inflation. This happens when the cost of importing goods increase due to certain reasons. Malaysia has experienced inflation that impacts the country's economy, stability and the purchasing power of citizens. It is crucial to understand the reasons why inflation happens in our country. As policymakers, businesses, consumers and investors handle the economy. However, a comprehensive analysis is lacking, where there is uneven data to compute. So, we should know the objective. This study aims to address this gap by employing economic model techniques to identify and quantify the significant factors influencing inflation in the Malaysian economy. So now, I'll be explaining about our estimate equation. First of all, we can do a multiple regression output using EViews. We use OLS, Ordinary Least Square Method, to estimate our double line model. The constant term is negative 0.157 is the value of inflation or Y, and other terms are equal to 0. The coefficient for independent variables including inflation in East Asia Pacific, exchange rate, money supply and income per capita are positive. That means that there is a positive relationship with inflation. While employment is negative, it means that there is a negative relationship with inflation in Malaysia. Now we want to see whether our data is fitted or not by using our goodness fit component, which is adjusted R-squared. This is basically a statistical test that determines how well our sample data fits the distribution from a population with a normal distribution. In other words, it looks at the discrepancy between the observed and expected value and the normal distribution. For the goodness of fit, we are using the adjusted R-squared value given in our multiple regression output. The adjusted R-squared looks at whether an additional input variables are contributed to the model given our very high adjusted R-squared value that gives us an indication that the additional explanatory variables are actually adding value to the model because they are able to explain where corresponding changes will be dependent variable. Therefore, we can see that the model is a good fit. The adjusted R-squared value suggested that 95.25% of variation in inflation rate in Malaysia can be explained by the independent variables. The other 40.75% of variation is explained by other variables that are not captured by this model.
Things have been getting more expensive lately. I remember buying the same food last time. Do you think things will start increasing in price the next time we come back here?
Maybe, but prices to be rising everywhere. This is because, according to our regression model, we can see that the coefficient of inflation rate in East Asia and Pacific is equal to 0.58. So, a 1% increase in the inflation rate in East Asia and Pacific will increase the inflation rate in Malaysia by 0.58. Where should I find work? Everyone doesn't want me.
This situation is not uncommon. It shows that Malaysia is having high unemployment rates. And high unemployment rates means that more people are struggling to find work. In this case, it is not a reflection of Amira's abilities, but more so the overall economic state of our country. According to our regression model, we can see that the coefficient of unemployment rate is equal to 0.615. So a 1% increase in unemployment rate will decrease the inflation rate in Malaysia by 0.615. This shows negative relationship between inflation and unemployment rate. Should I wait for the exchange rates to decrease before exchanging my money? This is really impacting our inflation situation right now.
Well, let's explain the situation. According to our regression model, we can see that the coefficient of exchange rate is equal to 0.89 or 0.89 ringgit. So, a 1% increase in the exchange rate will increase the inflation rate in Malaysia by 0.89 ringgit. This shows a positive relationship between inflation and exchange rate.
I was thinking about taking out a small loan to start a small business. Do you think it's a good idea?
Well, currently the central bank has increased the money supply to stimulate economic growth. And this means lower interest rate, making it favorable time for borrowing. So, however, it also could lead to higher inflation.
I see. So if I borrow now, I might benefit from lower interest rates, but there is a risk of prices going up in the future.
Exactly. It's important to weigh the pros and cons and based on the economic condition and your business plan. According to our regression model, we can see that the coefficient of money supply is equal to 0.014. So, a 1% increase in the money will increase the inflation rate in Malaysia by 0.014. This shows positive relationship between inflation and money supply.
Amira, the income earned per person in our country is increasing. This could mean betterment of our living standards over time.
That sounds great. How does it happen?
It's a result of economic development, increased productivity, and better job opportunities. When people make more money, they are able to spend more, hence boosting the economy.
So, if our country continues to experience income per capita growth, can we expect our overall quality of life will improve?
Yes, that's the idea, but we have to ensure that the growth is inclusive so that everyone in our country can truly benefit.
Go.
According to our regression model, we can see that the coefficient of income per capita growth is equal to 0.108%. So a 1% increase in money will increase the inflation rate in Malaysia by 0.108%. This shows positive relationship between inflation and income per capita.
According to the graph, some people find it hard to see whether the residuals are normally distributed or not. So let's get our hypothesis. Null hypothesis, residuals are normally distributed. Alternative hypothesis, residuals are not normally distributed. From the calculation, Jacob-Bera value is 1.53, p-value is 0.4652, and critical value from child to a test is 7.378. We can conclude that Jacob-Bera value is smaller than the critical value, with a 5% of central level with 2 degrees of freedom. However, the Jacob-Bera value is greater than the p-value. Then we fail to reject the null hypothesis and to conclude the residuals are normally distributed.
So now, we want to see the heteroscedasticity of our residuals. So the null hypothesis is there is no heteroscedasticity, and alternative hypothesis there is heteroscedasticity. With n equals to 30, the derivation test is 1.64. This result dropped between range of dl, which is 1.07, and du is 2.17. Therefore, the result is indecision since the derivation test lies between range dl and du.
That's all from us!
So the null hypothesis is there is no heteroscedasticity and
One, two, three.
according to our regression model, we can see that the interest rate making it Macam yang bang kan?
betul.
Making it favorable time for borrowing lah. And then however lah kan?
However,